So we had, some of you were here for our little technology glitches. So I'm not using my normal MacBook, so bear with me if things go a little awry. So here we are. There's the list of things. Can you hear me okay? Because there is the little headset thing, but I'm not sure if even it works. But I will try to keep yelling. So welcome. We have lots of time because I really I want us to be interacting a little bit too. So I'll just go to our next slide here. There we go. There we go. So I'll let you take that in for a second. So as you can see, all the flags for this golf course are in one easy area where obviously the golfer will not have to work too hard to get his 18 holes done. And so the one reason why I liked this little funny was to start talking about our membership fees and how, you know, friends of mine and probably friends of yours who are in other professional associations, how their fees are crazy, right? Many of them are, some of them are even into like $1,000 or whatever. But ORMTA's fees are quite low, and yet for those fees we get some advantages, which we'll talk about. Anybody have any comments about that and your relationship with ORMTA on an early Sunday morning? You can interrupt me at any point, by the way. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Oh, there we go. So I was going to talk about the Perks program. If you go onto the website, there is, once you log in, there is a link for you to be able to get into it. How many of you have already signed up for the Perks program? Yeah? So, you know, the claim is that there are over 12,000 discounts and special deals, easy to use, and each perk states how it can be redeemed. So I'm kind of pushing the Venngo because there are not that many ORMTA members currently who have actually signed up for it. And you know, for us to be able to make use of it, we want to. So I found this other, this other cartoon. How much does it cost to buy a membership and then never use it? So I want to remind those of you who have not signed up for Venngo, is that you're actually paying for it. It's part of your membership. And really, if you just redeem one perk per year, you've already got that money back. So for instance, as you can notice, I have kind of wild hair. So in Thunder Bay, there's only a few that I can access, but one of them is Chatters, and it's a place for hair care products. And so, you know, to keep myself looking beautiful, I have to pay $54 for this special shampoo, which apparently keeps me beautiful. But, you know, every time I go, I can take from Venngo, I can take my little perk and I get 30% off. And so that's a pretty good deal for me. I've also, you know, I'm talking personally here, but I've used it for car rental. In Thunder Bay, I can use it for car rental, I can use it for Chatters, and a couple of restaurants. But those of you who live down here, in the, like we call it the South, but you have access to all kinds of things. Some of you have made use of fitness institutes and travel and more restaurants than I could ever. Does anybody want to comment about what they are able to use it for, or questions about it?
I used it for BYLAWS optical. So
yeah.
I got a really, really good deal on glasses.
Wow.
Frames and glasses.
So BYLAWS optical. Does anybody else kind of read?
We use it for movie tickets a lot.
Movie tickets.
Yeah, because you basically get an adult admission for like a child price.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've
cinema.
Cineplex.
At Cineplex.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Nice.
I've heard that like Good Life Fitness. I haven't used it, but I think it's like half off. It's like $400.
Yeah, and you get a corporate membership with it with tele service and all that.
perks.
But it has to be on
Yeah.
the phone, right? It has to be.
There's certain perks that you can print out and certain ones that you can just bring your phone in and have, yeah.
Yeah, any perk I've used, I've actually printed it off. But if you have, there is an app. I'm going to show you their advertisement, and they kind of tell you about that. But you can get their app on your phone. So we talked about you just go on, you create your account. That's the thing that I found really easy, because you just go through the ORMTA site and you're like right in right away, and it's super easy to get your account started. And then if you ever had any trouble, it's probably best to talk to Alessandra, because she could help you. She could help you today, even if you wanted to. So they have a video, and hopefully this will go okay. But it's their promotional video. We need a university prof
When
to
they
help.
aren't at
I've never
work,
felt so
your
tight.
people spend their time and money on the things they desire and matter most to them. What if there was something extra special you could offer that could save them money every day on the products, places, and experiences they love, and from the national brands and local businesses they already know and trust? Things like health and wellness, travel, restaurants and movie tickets, and a new outfit for a night out. Fortunately, there's an easy and low-cost way for organizations to offer all that and more to their valued employees, members, or customers with a fully managed perks program from Venngo, Canada's leading provider of group discount programs. With exclusive discounts from more than 1,200 providers and program adoption rates that often exceed 80%, it's something people really love to use and talk about with their friends and family. Unlike other programs, Venngo doesn't simply provide discounts already available to the public. Exclusive savings are negotiated directly by Venngo with each vendor. And it's easy for everyone to access discounts using Venngo's exclusive mobile app on their phones and tablets, or from a web browser on the desktop. Location-based technology makes it quick and easy to find discounts near where they work and play. And the savings really add up. Anyone can easily reach $1,000 or more in savings every year and watch their savings grow in the mobile app and online. Venngo's clients are among Canada's most respected employers and professional associations. Organizations committed to improving the financial, physical, and mental well-being of their employees, members, and customers. And over 90% of Venngo clients renew their programs year after year. Venngo's expert, award-winning bilingual team does all the work for you in one powerful, easy-to-use program that also provides detailed usage reports. So, help them book that next vacation, buy that new pair of shoes, join that spin class, or take the whole family out for dinner and a movie with a program from Venngo. Contact us today and start saving.
I do not get paid by Venngo, by the way, for all of this. But that's just their promotional video that you can actually find on YouTube. Anyway. So any questions about Venngo or usage? Okay.
I can't believe we all went out for dinner at Lone Star and didn't realize that they took
They
Venngo
took
perks.
Oh, well, if you're eating next door, get your Venngo perks.
He's like,
Oh my
unfortunately, no.
God.
Oh, that's funny.
Huh.
I just saw it on the video. I was like,
Okay.
seriously?
Yeah.
That's why if you have the app on, I don't have the app on my phone, but my husband does. And so you could put in, like, we're from little tiny town that has, I don't even know, maybe one perk in it, which is for the car dealership that my brother works at, so I really don't get any benefits. But like if I then travel into Kitchener or Ottawa, you just change your location and it'll show you where the perks around you are, right? So like now I'm here in Ottawa, I can see that what restaurants are around here. It would come up if I remember to look at it.
Yeah. I know, I think that's really what we need to do is remember to do it. Yeah, yeah. So ORMTA, we just renewed for 1 more year. Again, we're just doing it yearly. And if not enough members are interested, we'll have to discuss whether it's viable for us. So really talk it up amongst yourselves and your friends and go back to your branches and for those of us who do use it, it is beneficial.
Can I just ask?
Yes, Ann.
The point of it is to try to, that's like a perk of membership, that's why you should join us, because you get this as like a royalty thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you pay them an amount of money?
Never, as part of your membership, you already paid it.
Oh, I see,
Yeah, so they've already paid it and you make it back.
Yeah, well, as Jill was saying last night, when they say what's in it for me, you can
I
say,
know.
well,
Yeah,
we have this.
well, that's right. And, you know, if we're wanting to attract younger members and other members, it's really a reality,
It's
right?
something, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is the level of mineral awareness of the program?
Well, I'm not too sure. It is all up on our website. I suppose it depends on how often people are checking the ORMTA website, right? That's really, and Grace Notes, it's been, you know, that gets
And
emailed out
Notes.
monthly. And Notes
Yeah, it's
magazine.
in Notes, it's being sent out, I'll be mentioning it again in the annual report, so it goes out in minutes quite often.
Yeah, yeah, so I think it's a matter of
So-
just branch members talking it up a little bit more too. And, you know, frankly, there are, like, I'm on my computer every second, but there are people who don't check their computer even daily, right? Any other questions about Venngo? Okay, and if you do, we'll just move through. So we're into liability insurance at this point, and here we go. So this is just everything in a teensy-weensy nutshell. This is what the Westland insurance company, which we are part of, and our policy is part of, really this is what the details they want us to know. So, of course, we know we have liability coverage, but the limit is $5 million. And if something happens, there's still a $1,000 deductible for any claims submitted. And we have coverage for third-party property damage or bodily harm. And then we have these extensions, and we can talk a little bit more as we go.
So if you're teaching at home, does this insurance cover teaching at home?
Yeah, it covers like it covers your students coming in if they fall down the stairs or whatever. The one thing it does not cover though is your instruments, your space, your library, all of that does not cover that. And not everybody understands that.
Sorry to, I'm going to go back to the Venngo thing now, since you're.
Yes.
Do you keep statistics then of how many people are using the program?
Yeah, we know. Venngo's the one that did do that. They send reports.
What would make it worthwhile if the enough members? Do you have a number that you're expecting to hope that members will? To make it sort of a worthwhile. Because now I'm excited about it. Now I'm sure I've seen it, and I've been too busy.
Well, of course, we would be extremely excited if everybody
Right.
did. Oh, thanks. But right now, the percentage is quite low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just would like to see it increase to see that it's a worthwhile endeavor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I think if we put the word out and people realize that they're going to save money at places they use every day, then it would make it worthwhile. Yeah. I'm personally have not had the discussions with Venngo. Our provincial treasurer has, and another council member. Yeah, we don't want to see our prices go up and then, this fall apart and people have never been able to take advantage of it, right?
It's actually 3 years we've signed
Oh,
up.
3 this
Yes.
time.
I know, I've seen it, and I
you
always
get a
think,
better deal?
next time I'll do it, next time I'm logged in, I'll do it.
Yeah, Laura.
I was just gonna say, some of my branch members are maybe more like in their 60s, and we're hesitant because, sorry. No, but we brought in Venngo in a lot of reasons to attract younger members who want these perks, right? And are using phones with access to the app and whatever. But a lot of them said, oh, I don't want to get all their emails all the time. I think you maybe get one a week or maybe one every 2 weeks.
I never get
I never get any.
No,
I
you can always
Yes.
unsubscribe to anything, right?
You can,
Or
but
you
if
just
you,
delete the email.
well, that's what I figure
Yeah.
too. I'm like, you know what, I see it and I go, oh, okay, Medieval Times is the big new perk or whatever, and okay, fine, well, we're not going, so delete, right? But it's there, it's in your face, but I don't find it,
It's not overwhelming.
yeah, it's not like they're sending me emails every day
But you
or.
can insist, right?
I can, but I thought then I'd never remember that I had them. For the 3 times a year we go to the city.
I think you have to think of it this way too, is I think it's more for us that it's another one of our programs. We in our membership are covering professional development as well, and there are way more, a lot of members who never partake of professional development. We have competitions. There are many members who are not involved in competitions, right? So the question about do we have a number? I don't, there's no set number, right?
Yes,
You know what I mean? It's
You
not
just
like
would just
we
like to
want
see it being used
100
and.
people to use it. It's just, it's there, use it. Yeah.
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 You have to have that iPhone to put it in.
No,
No.
no, you can.
No, it works on Android,
Oh,
you can put it
yes.
on your iPad, even if you have a little mini iPad, it works on
On every
any
computer.
platform that you're using,
Okay.
or device, I mean.
So even just on your computer, like on
Yes,
on
yeah, and you
email,
can print
on
out the
email
coupon or whatever and take it
Okay.
to the restaurant.
Okay.
The grocery store,
The
or
grocery-
wherever.
yeah.
You can also order flowers, online flower.
Flower Direct,
Direct,
yeah.
yeah, you get a discount.
And
You
you
can
just tell
place any
them
of those
about the
orders
Venngo,
through their
just
website.
tell
You
them.
can just give you a little code.
Oh, the code, okay.
Yep, so
Yeah.
when you go to the restaurant, you can say, here's my
Okay.
coupon, or if
Yeah,
you're
I'm
ordering
just not good
online.
in computers, I just left it, I thought I'm not gonna be able to work it.
Some of the online ones, like for instance, when I rent a vehicle, Venngo has a direct link, and so I already get my savings immediately when I reserve my vehicle.
Oh.
Mhm. So that's handy, I don't have to take anything with me.
Hotels too, like
Yes,
the
a lot of
choice
hotels.
hotels, all that line
Yeah. But if you have any, any questions about it, feel free to contact Alessandra, especially because she's more the techie girl. But, talk to any of us who have used more, or we can even help you get it set up today if you wanted to. Because it doesn't cost anything. Well, I suppose it's part of your membership, you did pay a little bit. Won't cost to set up at all.
I have a question about insurance.
Yes.
We were talking a little bit about being covered in the home, and I
Yeah.
know we're wanting to attract younger members and different
Yes.
sorts of members. What about those who teach traveling from home to home? Does that
You
have any sort of?
It's this third party rider. You'll probably have to talk to Shane and get more specifics about it. So like for instance, if you are, I wonder if I have, no, I don't have a slide that goes with it. So if you consistently teach in one place, then you can get this, what they call third party coverage. We actually have that already. But the travelers, I think they have to put a different kind of rider on it. You may have to pay $35 more for that though. Yeah, for anything extra you're looking for is $35. Now the one thing is that when I started looking into all of this, when I became an ORMTA member, I actually thought that my studio, the physical studio, was covered. And so that's when I asked the questions and found out that it wasn't. So at this point, I was teaching maybe 15, 16 years already, and assuming that my library, my instruments, everything was covered. And it's like my studio's in my home. It's my entire basement. And then my broker for our home insurance said, oh, you're fine. Then the Google car went past my studio driveway and saw that I had painted on the door music, and then some appraiser decided that they should check into what's going on here. Now I pay $126 a month to have my studio in my home, and they won't cover if anything happened, because they consider it an entrepreneur business, small business now, rather than me just being there. So I no longer have music painted on my door because I don't want to have to pay any more, but I'm just giving you a teensy warning about that. Yes.
You can get a rider on your home insurance policy if you go to do contracts for other people in other locations. It's about $800 a year.
$800 a year. Okay. And that's through our
As
ORMTA
a
website?
small entrepreneur.
Oh, as a small entrepreneur.
Deal with your own insurance company. It's not through
was not through ORMTA. Yeah, so Christine, I don't really have a solid answer.
I just
would
wasn't
call
sure
them-
if that's something that would be beneficial to students who are traveling around and
Well-
say, oh, you can get the insurance and it'll
ask.
cover your recitals and your traveling and.
Yeah, that would be, I'm locking that in, because that'd be something for us to talk to them about. Yeah.
Your
something to
recitals
consider.
probably are covered.
The recitals
Yeah,
are covered,
for
yeah.
rental
Yeah, we
location.
shall move on to that little slide
Sorry.
there for a second. Oh, there we are. Recital coverage. This is moving faster now, yay. So to be called, comprehensive general liability coverage for recitals. Also for, like our branch is doing a mall display in the fall, and where people come, it's called registration day, so the dance studios, the hockey clubs, everybody's there. And Westland already gave us, we had to pay, we did have to pay, no, we paid them all. We had to pay them all $40, but Westland sent me a certificate of liability that you show them all. And just in case somebody falls at your booth or whatever. So, but you do have to ask for that separately. You just can't take your ORMTA liability little thing, your own there. They won't accept that at all. So, I think this is something that the last little line that they put in that they told me, it must be deemed that the teacher was at fault for the injury. That's what Westland told me. I have no idea how that is determined unless there's a set of witnesses that see you shove something down the stairs. Like what? I don't understand that. Or let's say an appraiser comes in and realizes that the church where you had rented didn't shovel blah blah ice, and they say it's your fault. I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to be really honest about that. But that is written down. It's part of their clause, and
Maybe they knew that the event was the fault for the injury, every time it's coming to that particular event, as opposed to something else. But that's
Yeah.
very badly worded though.
Yeah, it is
That would
very
be criminal.
fault.
The teacher was at fault for an injury.
fault
That's
for an
another
injury. That's a little bit
whole can of worms.
severe.
Yeah.
As far as I was concerned, but that's exact wording that they gave me, so.
Can you confirm, you said at the mall you had to have a separate piece of paper, because when I have recitals, any place I go to, they ask me what insurance, and I'm on, in a document, the insurance form, and I just give them that and they seem to accept it. Are you
Yes.
saying that I need to have something different?
Well, you know what, I think it's a case-by-case situation, because our mall areas, it's owned by something called Moorguard, and that's their policy.
So it's a separate certificate with.
Yes, that you have to contact Westland. All their stuff is in our members only. You just email them and like, really? They get back to you within 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
But that's for anything other than a recital though.
No,
well, sometimes recital venues
Sometimes
want
recitals.
that too.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Chatham, not in London, but in Chatham, we had our recitals at the Studio One, which belonged to the city. So every time we had a recital, we contacted Westland, and they would have to put on the certificate where the event was being held and even the time. But that was because they not went, it was because that place we were having the recital
Okay.
requested it. So if you're not requesting.
And that was a separate fee as well?
No, it didn't.
No,
cost
that
anything.
was-
that's
You
covered
just
for you.
have to have it done ahead. So if they don't ask you for that, then you don't need it,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
By any chance, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but has anybody ever had to put a claim in for student injury? God forbid.
I don't think,
Yeah. Me,
I don't think
I've
anyone has in
never-
Ontario, they have in other provinces.
Yeah.
I
But-
have never had one, but I've always been asked for various churches for my
Yes.
certificate, lots of
Yes.
times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're all well aware, because I'm kind of preaching to the choir here, that if you went to, let's say, I don't know, Philpott and Delgatti or something like that, and decided and asked for liability insurance for your little entrepreneurial business, of which we are, you would be paying so much, so much.
We have home businesses, and dog treatment, dogs. And we have to have commercial insurance in case somebody slips or falls or anything like that, it's not covered under residential. And there's a minimum amount So if you have a piano studio, I can't even imagine how many piano teachers are out there who don't realize if something were to happen, and it's a very litigious society, and injury lawyers, billboards everywhere, okay? And because there's a lot of benefit now, they're peddling it, okay, we know somebody who slipped and fell, like at an A&W or whatever, and you can't believe the money they got. Wow, you know, and so on. So I know that it's just a fantastic benefit to have your insurance for piano teacher covered in your
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
Because
Invaluable.
commercial insurance, I don't know how much it costs, the base level commercial insurance, no matter what you do out of your home, it's a lot more money than
That's-
membership.
We wouldn't be able to have a business. We wouldn't be able to teach out of our own studios or anything. No, it would be ridiculous. Yeah, so I think that's really fortunate. And truthfully, when Derek was on council, there was a survey that went out through SurveyMonkey and asking members, you know, what was your reason why you're part of it. And one of the tops was the liability insurance. And that's very attractive to younger people as well who are just getting going. And, well, older people, we don't want to pay that either. Okay, so there's no coverage if you're injured. That was new to me too last year when I started asking more questions. Because our group plan is only third-party coverage. So if you feel like you need to have another rider put on, you could call them and you can get that. It's actually not that much. I can't remember the exact amount though, but you can actually get that. I know it's under $100, but I can't remember the exact amount. And then once again, no coverage for property.
Are there riders, or should one consider what happens if you're driving somewhere and transporting students?
There are in the general policy there for us. There's no information about that, but you can call and ask because there's all this little fine print stuff that probably does include something there. I have a printout of that. It's highly confusing though. You would personally have to speak.
Or deal with it through your own car insurance with future liability on it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Give students lifts to places. I know there are teachers who drive their own students to exams and
and
put
pick
the
up.
student in
Oh
your
yeah,
car.
how many of us have done that? I've done it a few times where mom and dad can't do that and you pick them up. So yeah, like you were saying, we have to be careful. I don't necessarily think that way all the time. Yeah. Okay, so this one, if you're renting a space on an ongoing basis, like I was saying to Christine, or a landlord asks for more, that's a separate certificate, but you do have to pay for that. It's $35.
Is that $35 to get the certificate?
It's $35 just general. Yeah, and then you're covered. So that would be on top of what you already pay through your ORMTA.
But it's not a paperwork fee, it's an additional insurance.
It's just an additional fee. So really, even that's pretty good. For those who teach in schools where the landlord, you're renting your little space and they want more. So, and you can get more details. The fellow's name is Shane, S-H-A-N-E. And so when you go onto the ORMTA website and you click on Westland Insurance, contact, whatever, it'll go to a generic Westland Insurance, but then it gets sent, as soon as if you mention ORMTA, make sure you mention ORMTA, it goes directly to Shane and he answers within an hour or two. It's quite good. I'm assuming it's a he, but there we go. So if you want his direct email, it's sbouvier@westlandinsurance.ca. I'll just leave that up for a second. Does anybody have any additional questions? And I'm not the broker here. I'm just sort of the messenger. But if there's anything, I will say there was one individual who talked to myself yesterday. She could not be here today. That wanted ORMTA to see if there's some way that we can get health insurance. Has anybody ever talked about that?
You can get, it's through your better CFMTA, our national organization has, you can get it through them, but it's still very expensive because we don't have enough members across, even nationally, to get a really good deal. We are already partnered with another organization that has come down. So if you're looking for health insurance, you're best to contact, go on the CFMTA website because they do have.
That's through the
Through
personal.
the personal, yeah, it's through the personal.
Yeah.
It's just too expensive, we don't have enough members.
Yeah, so that's probably your only way. What do you, you know, I'm asking a personal question. What do you do, and you don't have to say numbers, what do you do as far as your own sort of lesson fees or tuition to perhaps cover the fact that you could be sick 2 days in the winter? Do any of you do that at all? It's just you're sick and then you're sick. Too bad, so sad. Yeah, and that is a bit of a reality. I do not do anything about it, but I do know one of our branch members in Thunder Bay, in her policies and procedures, she actually outlines and actually states, as because you know they're private owners of their own business, they do not have health insurance and all of that. They actually add a $3 charge for every student onto their tuition to cover a cancellation day. I had never considered that, but you know, $3 for an entire year for each student. I don't know how big their studio is, but that's what they do. So I thought I would just throw that out there, something to consider, especially if you, I don't know, it would make sense to me if you maybe had an underlying health thing that you know that there's days that you just couldn't teach, but yeah. There's other people who just say, this is your tuition fee, that's it, and yeah. Have any of you ever had to miss an extended period of teaching time? Like what, over a week? Oh, we're all healthy, that's good.
You just plow through even.
Yeah, or you plow through, right? You don't want your
So
sick
if we're
students.
going on vacation and we don't get paid.
No, we don't get vacation pay or any of that, because,
So it's costing us when we go away.
yeah, it does.
But see, a lot of teachers, especially in the States, they build that into their
Yeah,
fee
yeah,
schedule.
they
So
do
you don't
it.
tell the student that's what it is, but I have told students' parents that, you know, they think the $30 is just for that
Yeah.
30-minute lesson. No, it's part of your pension plan, your sick leave, your.
But how do we even tell them, like they think we keep asking them for money, like that's how they feel,
Well,
right?
I put it in my policies, this is what your lesson fees go towards. And then I'll list it all out.
I shared with Michael this year, he was adjudicating for us, and I actually took it and made it my own, but if you go into Teachers Pay Teachers or whatever, or you can ask me for mine, they have a little pamphlet that you can make your own, and it says, where does my tuition go? And it has all these little ideas that you can outline, and then, you know, in the fall, like we're getting there, send it out to your families, and then they realize that your tuition fee is covering this, and then I think it also gives you the clout to put your fees up
Yes.
to cover these things.
Professionals.
Yeah, you are a professional. Pat yourself on the back, and give, you know, you're worth something more than something. You're worth a lot. Yeah. So if anybody wants that, just let me know and I'll email it.
So you said it's on a website or something?
Teachers Pay Teachers. It's a you just go teacherspayteachers.com, and it's a great little site because you can buy teaching aids, and it's just teachers who develop their own little things, and it's usually a PayPal type of transaction, $3, $2, you know, that kind of thing. But I made my own from it, which you don't have to pay for. I would certainly afterwards, if you give your mail.
Well worth reading.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Wendy Stevens too, I don't know if any of you know from the States, she has do you know that website, Compose?
Yeah, Compose
Okay, if you
KA.
go on there, there's a whole, she has all kinds of stuff about policies and, you know, how to learn how to say no, how to raise your students' fees, and how to go from
Compose Create.
Prorated rates and stuff like that, and it's got all that kind of stuff on it too.
I'm sorry, did you say the name?
I don't, what's the
Wendy,
website?
Wendy
I don't
Stevens,
know.
composecreate.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, Compose Create, but if you Google Wendy Stevens,
Yeah.
piano, it'll come up.
V.
V,
Yes,
Yeah.
STEV.
it's, yes,
And then the
STV.
next part is create.
Well, I don't know what the actual website is.
Composecreate.com.
Google those words, that'll come
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
she'll-
she also, you can
She's a
purchase
ton of
at a really, really inexpensive, lovely recital programs that you just fill in, you don't have to do the work. Yeah,
Okay, so short-term memory, the first one was,
teachers paid teachers, all together. Yeah, sometimes, that's maybe something that we could do for members, is to get a whole list of these
Yes,
great little
resources.
sites. And some people are aware with them, but not everybody.
No.
We could maybe Grace Notes or something have a link to some of these. Yeah, you spend a little bit too much money sometimes, but it's good though.
All the free resources.
It's time, right? Really, with Wendy, it's somebody else.
Susan Parody's.
Yeah, Susan Parody's another one, but there was an article that I was reading from a blog I was telling these folks about this week, that they basically said that for every, especially senior student that you work with, the teacher spends 2 hours in prep time. And then we started talking about, you're looking at, if you don't know the piece yourself, you're learning it, and you're working through, you're figuring out all the technical things, you're trying to find the exercises, right?
You even get up in the middle of the night and think about it.
Think about it, right? Yeah, exactly. And so that's your time, and all that prep stuff you can put in as well. Any other questions about that? And then just briefly at the end here, we're not going to go through all the bylaws, but I just want to remind folks that Code of Ethics has now been replaced by the Standards of Practice. It's just semantics. I don't know if you were here last year, but a Code of Ethics connotes that we have a governing board who can, let's say, I'm charged with sexual misconduct, that the lawyers all get involved and I get put on the hot seat and I can, get fired. So we don't have that. If I did something like that, the police come to my door and I deal with it. We were cautioned by our lawyer. We do have a lawyer who's helping us with this, Mark Latu from Thunder Bay, because I'm there, and he was adamant that we could not use those terms. So we just changed it to Standards of Practice, and you can see that on our website. So that's Mark. And over the past 2 years, we have spent lots of time on getting our bylaws condensed, because there were procedures and things in there that don't need to be. So currently, we are at our last revision, and then Laura's got hawk eyes. She found a lot of little dots and dashes and things and capitals that we need to fix up. So then at the end of this summer, I'm going to send it off to Mark, and Mark is a lawyer who specializes in working with not-for-profit organizations and making sure their bylaws are what is needed to fulfill the purpose of your association and to also please the CRA. And so he's very good, he's really fast, and we have already agreed to employ him for that, because I feel like I'm becoming a lawyer, but I'm not. Once you get reading all these things, and we really do need an expert. And I think our membership will feel so much more confident knowing that an expert has looked at it and this is good. So because of that, we're starting to develop a policies and procedures manual. So in that manual already, we pulled things out of what were in the bylaws that really we do not have to wait a year to vote on as a whole group. There's just little piddly things that your council can change or work through. And then that also includes the manual of duties for people who hold portfolios. So that will be available soon. It's all it's all kind of outlined out, and Mark will also be able to help us with that as well. Our next steps, if I can get there.
Kathy, it's 10-2.
Okay, so I think I got the next steps. All these revisions, of course, will be ratified in matters for voting once we've got our ratification from Mark, okay? And then our next step is that we need to inform Canada Revenue Agency. It's the process for that. This has been our process. Yeah, it's been it's a lot of work. It's interesting work, but it's a lot of work for that. So, any questions? Yes? Yes.
Can I make just one very good comment? I know I came in at the tail end and I'm sorry about that, but I've had 2 separate occasions where I've needed Westland Insurance to be on it like that,
Yes.
and it was amazing. The service was phenomenal.
Aren't they
Just
good?
wanted to say.
Yeah, because you send that email off and you expect, oh, I might hear this week.
Maybe, yeah,
And
exactly.
you
Exactly.
literally do.
Like, wow.
Maybe we need your testimonial on our website.
I would
Yes.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah.
That we could do that. So, of course, I'm around, and other council members are around. If you have any questions that come up today, or even in life, just send us a little email, and we can try our best to answer them. If not, we'll make sure that you find the answer. Okay, great. Oh, Alessandra.
The forum.
Oh yes, Alessandra reminded me. Alessandra has set up a link on the website for a new place as a forum where we can have little discussions. We use something called Pro Boards, and you have to use your password to get in and all of that. But check that out. I've already signed up. I'm in. Laura is in. Elizabeth is in. So that's another way. You don't have to.
So the 3 of us are going to be with Alessandra are going to be having amazing
And
conversations.
you can also put it on your phone, right? With
Yeah, there's a phone app
Is
for
it
that
Talk
too.
Tap or Tap to Talk?
Tap a talk.
Tap to Talk.
Yes.
I have that app too, but I'll probably never use it.
So we'll probably push that in Grace Notes so everybody can use that, and because it was hard to find on our website the forum, and the last forum question was like 2016 or
Well, it's
something.
because it got emailed, like
Ah.
you didn't even get it, like and then you had to check your emails and then
Yeah.
like
If you have the app, if you have the correct settings on there, and when somebody posts, you'll get a notification right on
Yes.
your phone, and then you just open it.
Yeah, so if somebody says, hey, where can I find teddy bear stickers or whatever, you can answer it right away.
Yeah.
Laura.
I was just going to mention that, like, some of our other people wonder why they want to be an ORMTA member, and I think you really only get out of something what you put into it. If you don't go to branch meetings, you're not going to get much out of being a branch member. If you don't participate in our music writing competition, like it's like Kathy said, we do have things that people can participate in, and if our membership at large wants to see something different, then I think we want to know about that for sure. And
send it to your zone.
don't forget to participate in the things that are already in place, and if they might suit you. Like there is some pretty great opportunities for students of ORMTA teachers.
Any other comments?
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for your interest, and
Yes.
pass it on.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.